Part 57. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 561. Also shocked was Qing Li beside Xiaoxian. Qing Li knew before that Xiaoxian could walk out of the forbidden courtyard of Kanglong Empire, so he must be very capable. But she still didn't expect it. Xiaoxian, a practitioner at the elementary level of the spiritual god realm, was able to create such a magic circle. Looking at the power of the magic circle, even the forbidden army of the Kanglong Empire would suffer a lot if they were in it. In response, Qing Li also took a breath of air. It seems that she really underestimated Xiaoxian. If Xiaoxian used this formation during a confrontation between the two armies, it might have an unexpected effect and cause one army to suffer heavy losses. Qing Li secretly clenched his fists. Such talents must be controlled by the Qinghua Empire. At the very least, it must not be allowed to the Kanglong Empire, otherwise, the end of the Qinghua Empire may really be coming. Not far away on the hillside. Seeing hundreds of ferocious dragon lizards being wiped out, Li Fu's face was filled with shock and he couldn't believe his eyes. At that time, he spent a lot of time and energy to set up this trap. Ambergris was originally a precious cultivation resource. If he hadn't spent a lot of resources, he really wouldn't have been able to find it. He originally thought that after these dragon lizard beasts wiped out Situ Shenglong, he would use the training resources in their space spiritual treasures to replenish it. Who knew that hundreds of dragon lizard beasts could be taken care of so easily? Moreover, those precious demon pills also fell into the hands of Situ Shenglong and Xiaoxian. This is no small matter. Not only for the people of the Hunter Alliance, but also for Xiaoxian, his strength will be greatly enhanced if he gets these demon pills. What worries him even more is if Xiaoxian and Situ Shenglong cooperate. Then won't their future life be more miserable? Li Fu couldn't help but feel a little uncomfortable when he thought of this, and said, "Get ready to snatch the demon pill." But, our strength is similar to that of Situ Shenglong and others, and internal fighting is strictly prohibited within the Hunter Alliance. If something troublesome really happens, wouldn't it be? Some of the guards around Li Fu were a little worried. Madness. Now that old guy Situ has just experienced a big battle, it is a matter of weakness. If we can take advantage of the opportunity and capture them directly, wouldn't we be able to get twice the result with half the effort? Li Fu reprimanded unceremoniously, "As for the Hunter Alliance, you don't have to worry. If anything happens, I will naturally take care of it." Speaking of which, the personal guards around Li Fu also understood that it might be a desperate move today, or else it would be a failure. At the same time, Xiaoxian had a red demon pill in his hand. As soon as he thought about it, the pure Tao power in the demon pill naturally entered his Qi, making the Tao power in his Qi much richer. Is this automatic absorption? Xiaoxian's eyes lit up. He knew that after arriving on the Dao continent, the system should secretly undergo some modifications to his body. There were just some subtle changes that he couldn't detect. Now, these demon pills are just in his hands, but they can be absorbed directly? This surprised him a bit. "Master Xiaoxian, thank you very much this time. If not, we might really be in trouble." Situ Shenglong looked a little guilty. Before, he just thought Xiaoxian was just an ordinary person, but now it seems a little different. At least, Xiaoxian's strength was still very strong. Even from a certain perspective, this is still a very precious Taoist master. Such a person is a very precious talent even in the Qinghua Empire, let alone in the Hunter Alliance. After thinking about this, Situ Shenglong's attitude towards Xiaoxian changed again. From the previous suspicion, it turned into a bit of enthusiasm. "Master Xiaoxian, before. Who knows, now that Situ Shenglong has annihilated the dragon lizard beast, not only has his strength not been damaged, but he has also gained a lot of benefits. The energy in the demon pill was like a small stream, slowly instilled into his body, quickly restoring the power that had been consumed just now. In terms of share, I am afraid that 90% of the dragon lizards died in Xiaoxian's formation. But Xiaoxian on the side had already started to explain with a serious face. Compared with those dumb dragon lizard beasts, Li Fu was obviously a greater threat. Look, they are already ready to make a move. These dragon lizards were all killed by you, Mr. Xiao. See this scene. The strength has even improved a step further. But Situ Shenlong didn't expect it. Li Fu became angry from shame. Instead, he got so many demon pills. Situ Shenlong said proudly. Situ Shenlong also knew clearly that Abbot Xiaoxian's formation just now should have consumed a lot of energy, and he should put in more effort to deal with Li Fu next. This time, I will leave Li Fu's men to me. I want to see what kind of trump card Li Fu has without the dragon lizard beast. In terms of realm and strength, his lineage is still higher than Li Fu's. No need to say more. Now I think you should be more concerned about the situation on the other side. Li Fu probably won't give up. Situ Shenlong was also furious. If you want to kill me, I have to see if you have the ability. Naturally, it is not that easy to deal with Situ Shenlong. Take half of the demon pill. He originally thought that he could use the dragon lizard beast to wipe out Situ Shenlong's lineage. Previously, with the help of the dragon lizard beast, Li Fu might have had some chance of winning, but now, the dragon lizard beast was solved by Xiaoxian alone. Senior Situ, don't worry. You can use these demon pills to restore some strength first. This will give you a better chance of winning, right? Xiaoxian said. Situ Shenlong still wanted to explain something. The same was true for the personal guard next to Situ Shenlong, who instantly recovered all the power he had just consumed. Situ Shenlong was a little embarrassed. Before, he thought Xiaoxian was bragging when he dealt with the dragon lizards alone, but now it seems that is not the case. Xiaoxian still abided by his previous agreement and was willing to take out half of the demon pill, which made him blush. Xiaoxian not only defeated the dragon lizard group by himself. Just relying on this, Xiaoxian can be selfish and swallow all the demon pills. Don't worry, thanks to brother Xiaoxian's intervention just now. A few demon pills held in one hand, a grey technique started to operate. But it's awkward. Old man Situ, today is the day you die. Li Fu became angry and looked at Xiaoxian hatefully. There was no hesitation at all. Li Fuqi's face turned even pale. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 562. Haha, old man Situ, do you think I, Li Fu, just prepared some dragon lizard beasts? It's really ridiculous. Today I will let you know what the real dark magic is and let you die without a burial place. Li Fu said contemptuously. When he said this, everyone present was a little shocked. Even Xiaoxian frowned slightly. He had never heard of dark Taoism. However, looking at Li Fu's confident expression, it was obvious that this thing should be very powerful. What is dark magic? Xiaoxian couldn't help but ask the people around him. Dark Taoism is a legendary evil sect Taoism that appeared on the eastern wilderness continent. The user sacrifices with blood and practices it every day, which can increase his strength several times in battle. Qing Li gritted his teeth and said, but, the dark magic should have been eliminated 100 years ago, how could it suddenly appear? On the other hand, Situ Shenglong's face was heavy. Something seemed to come to mind. Before, this Li Fu would be mysterious, but he didn't expect to be exposed to dark magic. It's really hateful. Situ Shenlong gritted his teeth, turned around and said to Xiaoxian and Qing Li, the situation is serious, you two should leave quickly to avoid being affected. Xiaoxian and Qing Li looked at each other. To be fair, Li Fu's most important target is Sidu Shenlong, and now he even has his trump cards such as Dark Taoism. To be honest, Xiao Xian could have just turned around and left for safety. But he is somewhat interested in this so-called dark magic. Before, he could clearly see that Sidu Shenlong had completely suppressed Li Fu with his own strength. Now Li Fu just mentioned the 4 words Dark Taoism. Is Sidu Shenlong so afraid? Although feeding Taoism with essence and blood every day seems to be a bit of a loss of cultivation, if it can be modified, it might become a trump card. Dark Erosion Technique. In the valley, Li Fu spurted out a mouthful of essence and blood, and his originally pale face turned pale, and even his eyes became slacker. But at the same time, a black mist suddenly erupted from his body. The clothes on his upper body burst open, and he saw a black bull-headed demon tattooed on Li Fu's chest. Moistened by the black mist, the bull-headed demon slowly moved and walked away from Li Fu's chest. Come out. The bull demon god. Kill all these people. Li Fu's face was pale, his eyes were red, and his hair was disheveled, like a demon emerging from hell. Regarding this point, Xiao Xian and Sidu Shenlong did not dare to neglect and started to use their techniques one after another. Qing Li, take Xiao Xiao away first. There may be danger here later. Xiao Xian gritted his teeth. He smelled a hint of danger from this black bull demon. Good. Qing Li also understands. At this critical moment, it was definitely not a scene for her to show off her hero casually, but she was also carefully leading Gongsun Xiao Xiao back. On the other hand, Gongsun Xiao Xiao, this little girl, is full of confidence. Waving his little fist to cheer on Xiao Xian, he seemed to be very confident in Xiao Xian. What does young master Xiao Xian want to do? Are you going to fight this dark demon with me? Sidu Shenlong looked at Xiao Xian in surprise. If that's what I expected. Li Fu alone doesn't seem to have the ability to summon the dark demon. Xiao Xian shook his head. He could feel that Li Fu was more of a sacrifice than a summons just now. Just now Li Fu sacrificed all his body essence and blood. This is not an easy task. For cultivators, the body's essence and blood are more important than the Qi Shenfu. I want to condense a drop of blood essence. The time and energy required are absolutely unimaginable by ordinary people. Moreover, for cultivators, if they want to advance further in their cultivation, they must condense more blood essence into their bodies. But with a thought, Li Fu burned all his blood and essence in order to summon the black demon god. It's equivalent to a one-shot deal. It's just a waste of my whole life's training. This black demon god is no small matter. Young Master Xiao must be careful. Sidu Shenlong originally saw that Xiao Xian only had the strength of the primary level of the spiritual god realm and was unwilling to let him take action. However, after thinking about it for a while, he also understood that his spirit, the initial strength of the divine realm, is not that weak. Good. Xiao Xian also looked solemn. But when he saw the tall and powerful black bull demon in mid-air, he had a strange feeling. Because he discovered that after this thing got out of Li Fu's body, he actually stood motionless in mid-air. It looks very ferocious, but it doesn't show any aggression. At first, Xiao Xian thought that new demon god or Li Fu was up to something, or was brewing some conspiracy. But what happened next made him dispel this doubt. He discovered that this dark and illusory bull demon god was still standing there blankly, as if nothing had happened. God! What's going on? Why is such a big thing not aggressive at all? Is it possible that this thing is so gentle? Xiao Xian would not believe it. Li Fu burned all his blood and essence and summoned the demon god just to scare them. I didn't feel much aggression, which is strange. Sidu Shenlong also came into contact with dark magic for the first time. He had only heard about the power of dark magic before, but had never seen it in person. It's better to wait and see what happens. In the end, Xiao Xian and Sidu Shenlong also temporarily reached a consensus. The time for a stick of incense passed quickly. The Dark Lord in mid-air remained motionless. At this time, Xiao Xian couldn't sit still and took the initiative to contact the system. Brother system, please explain quickly, what is going on? Is Li Fu still playing tricks? You think too highly of him, Li Fu. You're just at a high level in the spiritual realm, but you want to use dark magic? Isn't this like ants moving rocks? The system's tone was full of disdain. Don't say that he just burned the essence and blood on his body. Even if his old bones are burned, I'm afraid it will be useless in the end. After hearing this, while Xiao Xian breathed a sigh of relief, he also became more interested in the so-called Dark Taoism. A high-level spiritual god realm, which is indeed not considered a top expert on the great Dao continent. But if it burns a body of essence and blood, it can be regarded as a considerable force. Besides, Li Fu will have some confidence in using dark magic in such a desperate situation. How could he lose so easily? Could it be that he is really too arrogant? For a moment, even the experienced Xiao Xian was a little confused and asked directly to the system, then please ask the system brother to explain it again. What is going on? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 563. Actually, there's nothing to explain. It's nothing more than that Li Fu found a dark Taoist seed by chance and put it in his body to nourish it, intending to make the dark Taoist power his own, but it failed. The system sneered, it's not your own power, so you can't use it at will. For these words, Xiao Xian also nodded one after another. Since he obtained the system, he has been able to travel smoothly on various continents, and he was once a figure at the top of a continent. But in the process of practicing fighting, he can also feel that the system's help to him is indeed very useful, but, occasionally there are some side effects. These side effects are usually not noticeable. It doesn't even get his attention. But practicing a method is like knowing whether drinking water is warm or cold. Xiao Xian knows that these small side effects may seem inconspicuous, but they will cause demonic obstacles at critical moments. It hindered him from becoming a saint. Of course, these medicines are just an afterthought. Then what should I do? I feel, his bull demon god seems pretty good. Xiao Xian licked his lips and looked greedily at the tall bull demon god in mid-air. Don't you have a crush on me? For the first time, the system's voice was sour. After hearing this, Xiao Xian was even more confused and a little confused as to what the system meant. You know, the system has been helping him a lot, and it seems that it has never asked such a nonsensical question. Today, your personality suddenly changed. What do you mean? I just see that this bull demon god is not weak and want to increase his strength. How can I have any other ideas? Xiao Xian shook his head one after another, and said in confusion, besides, although I am greedy for money and lustful, I don't like something as dark and big as the bull demon god, right? This bull demon god, the body is not like this, the system said quietly. The real body? Could she still be a beauty? Xiao Xian's heart moved. Although this guy in the system is usually bad, he doesn't make fun of key things. It's not a beauty, it's a little beauty, the system said. Little beauty. Xiao Xian looked up at the bull demon god, and then at Qing Li not far away, and suddenly felt a little unbelievable. It seemed that he felt Xiao Xian's emotions. The system responded quickly. Well, this system can give you a taming magic to help you tame this bull demon, but it requires a piece of your blood essence. The system said, this bull demon god doesn't have much strength. Do you really want to do that? Xiao Xian frowned slightly. He looked up at the bull demon god again. This time, he saw something different. Although the bull demon god stood motionless in mid-air, but there is something unusual about it. It seemed to be attracting him secretly. It's as if it wants to be tamed on its own initiative. I'm sure, I feel that I have a vague connection with this bull demon god, Xiao Xian said directly without hesitation. Well, you use taming magic to strengthen your blood essence and wait until the blood essence is absorbed. Then the bull demon god will be tamed. Okay. Because of that wonderful feeling just now. Xiao Xian did not dare to neglect at this time, but carefully followed the system's instructions, sat cross-legged on the ground, forced out a drop of blood essence in the sea of qi, and began to refine it. Taming magic had just appeared. A blue-white Taoist aura appeared in the meridians of his body. As soon as this Taoist aura appeared, the black demon around Xiao Xian became more restrained, as if he had encountered a natural enemy. What can be clearly felt is that when the technique is running, there seems to be a different kind of power appearing, and among these powers, there is also a vague attraction to the bull demon god in mid-air. Boom! Master Xiao Xian, what are you doing? Sidu Shenlong was beside Xiao Xian. Naturally, he noticed Xiao Xian's movements immediately and quickly reminded him at this moment. As a high-level master in the spiritual realm, he could clearly feel that after Xiao Xian ran some unknown skills, the bull demon god in the air actually resonated. This is unbelievable. You know, dark magic is powerful, but it has extremely high requirements on the body of the operator. If it is not strong enough, or practice the path of darkness since childhood, so that you can practice. However, after staying with Xiao Xian for so long, Sidu Shenlong did not feel the dark aura on the latter's body, which was naturally a strange thing. Don't worry, I can refine this demon. Xiao Xian smiled at Sidu Shenlong and began to concentrate on refining. At this moment, the personal guards around Sidu Shenlong also came over and looked at Xiao Xian with complicated eyes. Dark Taoism is a Taoism that is banned in the Hunter Alliance and even the Qinghua Empire. The reason is that this kind of Taoism is not easy to control. If you are not careful, the practitioner will go crazy. Therefore, Dark Taoism is also called evil magic. But Xiao Xian was actually on the territory of the Hunter Alliance. Take the initiative to refine this dark demon? Isn't this an active provocation? If speaking of it, this thing was really going to be refined by Xiao Xian, wouldn't he become the second Li Fu? Elder Sidu? This Xiao Xian is only a practitioner at the beginning of the spiritual god realm. How can he be allowed to refine this dark demon? A body at the elementary level of the spiritual god realm will definitely not be able to withstand the backlash of the dark demon god. Besides, if he becomes the new demon god, wouldn't it be a new threat to our Hunter Alliance? Several personal guards behind Sidu Shenlong came over. Snored. You cowards, why didn't you dare to come up when Li Fu used the black demon god to show off his evil ways? Now that the black demon god is about to be subdued by Mr. Xiao, you come out instead. Is it possible that this is the character of your Hunter Alliance? At this moment, Qing Li stood up and glanced at the guards coldly. If you want to take action against young Master Xiao Xian, you must get through me first. Qing Li is just a woman, and she is still an injured woman. At this moment, the words she stood up and said really made the faces of the Hunter Alliance people next to her turn blue and white. After all, Qing Li's words were not nonsense. Basically it's all real stuff. Little girl, if I hadn't seen you injured, I would have taught you a lesson today. Do you know that if this black devil is born, he will cause a bloody storm? A hunter with gray hair and a long knife said dissatisfiedly, people like you who have never experienced that era naturally don't know the terror of the black demon god. I also ask Elder Sidu not to think about personal affairs and put the interests of the alliance first. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 564. Qing Li was originally from the Qinghua Empire. She has the blood of the Qinghua royal family. Not only is she good looking, but she also has an extremely tough personality. She had experienced a trip to the secret realm with Xiao Xian before. They become natural allies. Seeing Xiao Xian being treated like this at this moment, she was naturally the first to feel uncomfortable. But she also understood that the personal guards who had made negative remarks just now were basically Sidu Shenglong's people. Whether they would take action against Xiao Xian actually still depended on Sidu Shenglong's decision-making. Therefore, now he was looking at Sidu Shenglong with an ashen complexion. Enough. Don't talk about this again. Since young Master Xiao Xian's participation has already been decided, there is no need for you to say anything more. Now just give your full support to young Master Xiao Xian. Sidu Shenglong looked serious. After saying this, the guards next to him were immediately shocked. They are all people who have followed Sidu Shenglong for many years. They naturally understand Sidu Shenglong. They understand that the reason why Sidu Shenglong has been able to fight with Li Fu for many years is that he is also a man of many tricks. Such smart people generally do not take the initiative to express their attitude. Even in the Hunter Alliance, it is rare to see Sidu Shenglong take the initiative to express his attitude. What happened today? Why do you think so highly of a young boy like Xiao Xian? Elder Sidu, this matter. A guard hesitated to speak. Why, in the Hunter Alliance, my words no longer work. Seeing that some people were still dissatisfied, Sidu Shenglong's face became a little gloomy. If any of you think that you are qualified to open the pulse, you can also stand up. In the Hunter Alliance, only old hunters with rich experience or advanced realms would be qualified to open the pulse. As a high-level cultivator of the spiritual god realm, Sidu Shenglong is only one step away from the blue god realm. However, he has decades of experience in hunting animals, and many elders of the Hunter Alliance have to be polite to him. I don't dare. After all, Sidu Shenglong is a veteran elder in the Hunter Alliance. After he said these words, even if the guard next to him was dissatisfied, he could only forcefully hide these emotions. In the valley, Xiao Xian was surrounded and protected by a group of people. Begin to dissolve the bull demon god. At first, when Xiao Xian's essence and blood appeared, it suddenly attracted the reaction of the bull demon god. Like a black dragon, the ox demon god rushed directly towards the drop of essence and blood. Seeing this scene, Xiao Xian also had a smile on his face. He could predict it. The taming magic that the system gave him before may sound silly, but it will definitely work at a critical moment. Just like now, the menacing-looking black bull demon. In front of the taming magic, isn't it just a calf that can be manipulated at will? Not as expected by Xiao Xian. The black bull demon god hurriedly got into Xiao Xian's drop of blood, but the next second, he ran into trouble. Taming magic seems to appear out of thin air. Red thread suddenly appeared, trapping the black devil firmly. Ho ho ho. Ho ho ho. The bull demon god also reacted. It was obvious that Xiao Xian had been fooled just now. At this moment, the devilish energy all over his body was blooming, trying to escape from these red threads. However, what he didn't expect was these seemingly slender and soft red silk threads actually began to erode the body of the bull demon god after they appeared. No matter how powerful the bull demon god was, eventually it will be absorbed by the slender red rope. This time, the bull demon god really took a breath of air and no longer dared to underestimate these red ropes. Xiao Xian felt surprised. Whenever taming magic contracts, he can absorb some demonic energy from the bull demon god and use it to strengthen himself. After thinking about this, Xiao Xian's face became really serious. He really didn't expect it. This black-looking bull demon god actually has such a powerful effect. Can he use demonic energy to increase the power of his martial arts? This alone is enough to make people salivate. Don't say anything else. If ordinary people want to improve their Tao power, not to mention tens of thousands of years of hard training and enlightenment, This is basically the path that they must go through to become a top practitioner. More importantly, there are many talented practitioners in the world. But there are only a few people who reach the top in the end. In addition to their perseverance and abundant resources, these people can reach this point. I'm afraid there is another very important reason. That's opportunity. In the process of cultivation, the further you go, the more you rely on chance. This is why Xiao Xian was so shocked and happy when he saw that the black demon god would bring him the benefits of cultivation. This thing is so good. Calling him the dark demon god is really a bit insulting. From now on, I'll just call him a good cultivator. After personally feeling the benefits of practicing, Xiao Xian was overjoyed. If it weren't for Sidu Shenglong and others around him, he would even jump up with joy. What did you say? Why do I see that something is wrong with young Master Xiao Xian? Looking at his smiling face, he's gone crazy, right? Yes, I have heard it a long time ago. It is extremely painful to practice the black demon god. It will not only swallow up the essence and blood of the cultivator, but also damage the soul. Could it be? Sidu Shenglong also has many personal guards around him. When they saw Xiao Xian's intoxicated and complacent look, they all looked at each other with confusion on their faces. After hearing these words, even Sidu Shenglong himself couldn't hold his breath. As an elder of the Hunter Alliance, he also knows the power of dark Taoism. This dark Taoism is not only extremely terrifying in terms of power, but what is even more terrifying is that this kind of Taoism will actively erode the mind of the practitioner. This point is something that all Taoism in the world cannot exist. Won't. Master Xiao Xian has shown his strength before. Now, he is just facing a dark magic. Don't talk nonsense. Sidu Shenglong said seriously. However, his words are not very convincing at this moment. The reason is very simple. In the eyes of ordinary practitioners, practicing a religion is inherently arduous and boring. Even if ordinary people can practice with patience, this is still a great thing. But now, Xiao Xian actually smiled? Isn't this a sign of obsession? Thinking of this, several of the guards around Sidu Shenglong couldn't bear it any longer, gritted their teeth and said, if there are some things that are not absolutely sure, Elder Sidu should not take too many risks, otherwise it will be harmful to the entire Hunter Alliance. Irresponsible. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 565. Don't talk nonsense. You don't want to believe Mr. Xiao Xian, are you willing to believe Li Fu? Sidu Shenglong said coldly. What he said was very serious. For a moment, the guards around him also looked solemn, and they couldn't believe that it was Sidu Shenglong who said these words. You know, Li Fu and Xiao Xian have completely different identities. Even before, Li Fu forcibly summoned the dark demon god and consumed all his blood and essence, and now he has become a waste. But it is undeniable that Li Fu was also a high-level master of the spiritual god realm before. It's not like Xiao Xian, a casual cultivator, can do anything. But why does Sidu Shenglong seem to trust Xiao Xian more? Isn't this a bit strange? Is it possible that a young boy who just walked out of a thatched cottage could get to this point? What do you want to do? Looking at you, elder, do you have other ideas? Soon, the guards around Sidu Shenglong also saw some problems, but looked at the former seriously and said, but, isn't this a bit rash? These personal guards also generally understand. No matter what, they are all people around Sidu Shenglong. Now for Li Fu, they are naturally more willing to see Xiao Xian refine the black demon god. Even if it cannot be completely refined, it can weaken part of the black demon god's power, which can be regarded as helping them. In this way, Xiao Xian unfortunately died under the erosion of the black demon god, which can be regarded as Xiao Xian's contribution. Sidu Shenglong is a mature man. At this moment, after taking a brief look at the guards around me, I naturally understood what they were thinking. However, compared to these young guards, as an elder of the Hunter Alliance, he is naturally much more mature. After frowning a little, he felt a strange feeling in his heart. He feels Xiao Xian seems to be a person who can create miracles. Maybe this black devil who can't even do anything to Li Fu will be casually subdued by Xiao Xian? This is not impossible. Figure this out. Sidu Shenlong also smiled and said to the people next to him, "Don't worry, I can feel that maybe Xiao Xian is the one to destroy these black demon gods." How is this possible? Elder Sidu, do you think too highly of Xiao Xian? He is just an ordinary person, why is he so capable? If Xiao Xian can conquer the black demon god, doesn't it mean that I can conquer him too? The guards beside Sidu Shenlong said dissatisfiedly. Sidu Shenlong just listened to these words and didn't take them to heart. Instead, he said calmly, "You may not be able to do it, but next you will know that I am not talking nonsense." Say it. The guards around Sidu Shenlong were also a little embarrassed. After looking at each other, they could only shut up and say no more. At the same time, Xiao Xian also truly felt the power of the black demon god. A pure and vigorous power, like spring rain nourishing the earth, slowly instilled into Xiao Xian's body. What's going on? Could such a thing really happen? Faced with the infusion of the power of the Dark Lord, Xiao Xian was not only pleasantly surprised, but also extremely surprised. If it is true that according to the system, this dark devil can strengthen his cultivation power through strength, doesn't this mean that his future cultivation will be cheating? But, if I don't cheat, I'm afraid I will be bullied by those unruly and high-minded guys. Heaven and earth are unkind and regard all things as stupid dogs. I, Xiao Xian, am unkind and treat those who oppose me as stupid dogs. Xiao Xian sneered inwardly. Then slowly opened his eyes. With the power of the black demon god strengthened, his whole body was covered with a vague layer of black power, making it difficult to see clearly for a while. And just now, the power of the black demon god that enveloped Li Fu disappeared like Yun Mo. The power of the Dark Lord is gone. It's unbelievable that such a thing could really happen. Xiao Xian was in a good mood and continued with a smile, "Since I said at that time that I would help you find the third-level spiritual treasure, then I will complete it. Please come with me, Elder Sidu." Since meeting Xiao Xian, the relationship between them seems to have been dominated by Xiao Xian. One moment he said that he would help him find the third-level spiritual treasure, and the next moment he took action to refine the black demon god. A group of guards around Sidu Shenlong hesitated. Sidu Shenlong felt even more embarrassed. Sidu Shenlong suddenly felt a little embarrassed. He said this. "It's nothing. Strong in strength and vicious in vision. At this time, we need to have a good relationship with Xiao Xian. Isn't this a bit powerful?" On the contrary, Sidu Shenlong, an elder of the Hunter Alliance, remained calm and seemed not to care about this matter at all. After understanding this, the attitude of the group of people around Sidu Shenlong towards Xiao Xian quietly changed. But what makes him helpless is that until now, Sidu Shenlong doesn't know what Xiao Xian wants. After all, he is an elder of the Hunter Alliance. Just these two things were enough to make Sidu Shenlong extremely grateful. There are many natural benefits. Sidu Shenlong cupped his hands and smiled. It seems that young Master Xiao Xian really has a lot of background. As soon as these words were said, the people next to him were stunned for a moment, but then they smiled slightly, with understanding on their faces. With this strength, why he could refine the black demon god was probably due to the use of some precious magic weapon just now. Speaking of which, we still don't know if young Master Xiao Xian is here today. Does he have any other needs? In fact, anyone with eyesight can see it. But he basically didn't believe Xiao Xian. Now, he was naturally a little embarrassed when Xiao Xian suddenly spoke like this. Can there be such a magic weapon? Seeing Xiao Xian safe and sound. Before, although he had not targeted Xiao Xian with the same evil spirit as Li Fu. He might be a child of a big family or a descendant of a big section. Moreover, this can be seen from the noble Qing Li beside him. Some words were too hesitant to be spoken. It also shows that Xiao Xian's identity is extraordinary. The black demon god has really been absorbed by Mr. Xiao Xian? Doesn't this mean that Mr. Xiao Xian has the power of the black demon god? This is impossible. Yes, Xiao Xian is only at the beginning of the spiritual god realm. However, I, Xiao Xian, am a trustworthy person, and I will definitely complete what I promised before. After absorbing the power of the Dark Lord. Looking at young Master Xiao Xian, it seems that he has refined the power of the Black Demon God. What a joy and congratulation! It was as if the unknown had been predicted. The relationship between Xiao Xian and Qing Li is extraordinary, and now that Xiao Xian has obtained the power of the Black Demon God, it can be said that the future is immeasurable. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 566. Let's go. Xiao Xian, however, had no intention of paying attention to Sidu Shenglong's inner thoughts. With a wave of his hand, he led King Li Gongsun Xiao Xiao towards the mountains. At this moment, Sidu Shenglong and his guards looked at each other. Everyone had a little embarrassment on their faces. In fact, if they say they are not tempted by Xiao Xian's invitation, it must be a lie. However, because of the relationship just now, they were more or less a little embarrassed. After all, I had some unpleasantness with Xiao Xian just now. If you follow Xiao Xian to hunt for treasure now, isn't this a slap in your face? Although Xiao Xian didn't say anything, they were all people who wanted to save face. At this time, everyone's feet seemed to be covered with glue. I was too embarrassed to move on my own initiative. Huh, why are you still standing there? Are you still waiting for young Master Xiao Xian to come and beg you? Seeing the appearance of his personal guards, Sidu Shenglong said with contempt, if this is really the case, you don't need to go. Of course I don't dare. A group of personal guards also knew. Sidu Shenglong's words were polite on the surface. In fact, it also gave them a chance to step down and let them follow Xiao Xian to hunt for treasures honestly, which was also a chance for them to show off. The other side. Xiao Xian was actually a little curious. In fact, when he first arrived at the Monster Mountain Range, he had already discovered that there were 2 red spiritual treasure reminders on the edge of the Monster Mountain Range. He originally thought that if he could use 2 spiritual treasures, he could bribe 2 elders of the Hunter Alliance. This can be considered a sure profit without losing money. Who would have known that this guy Li Fu would be so shameless that he would do some inexplicable things without giving up a good spiritual treasure? The result was that he lost both his wife and his troops. So he was disrespectful towards that spiritual treasure. The Monster Mountain Range is a large mountain range in the center of the Mingzhou territory, stretching for thousands of miles, with dense forests and crisscrossed rivers. Because in the Mingzhou domain, no empire has the strength to occupy them all. This place has always been a no-man's land. This also led to this place becoming a place that the empire had no control over, full of opportunities and also full of dangers. Some sects practice evil arts, or sects that rob families and homes. It was natural to place the sect's home base here. Similarly, because they live in deep mountains and old forests, these sects can indeed avoid the encirclement and suppression of famous and decent sects, but they will also encounter threats from some ferocious beasts and monsters. Therefore, there are often some large and small sects in the Monster Mountain Range that disappear without a trace for no apparent reason. Not even the practitioner's bones could be found. Because the Hunter Alliance often enters this mountain range, they have a better understanding of the monster mountain range and have a lot more respect for it. At this moment, I saw Xiao Xian entering the mountains so carelessly. They will still be a little worried. What are you going to do? Are you going to enter the monster mountain range like this? I heard that a yin-yang tiger beast appeared in the mountains recently. This is a 4-bottle monster beast. If you encounter it, I don't know what Xiao Xian was thinking, but he went in like this. It must be a fluke that he refined the dark demon god. Could it be that he really found the spiritual treasure? How is this possible? The guards around Sidu Shenlong were talking a lot. Basically, few people are willing to believe that Xiao Xian can really find the spiritual treasure. Xiao Xian didn't care about what these people thought, and he didn't know. At this moment, he was focusing on finding the third-level spiritual treasure that he had arranged before. Through the psychic eye. Although he couldn't know what this spiritual treasure was, he could roughly understand its level and the degree of danger around it. However, what made him feel confused now was, when he first entered the Monster Mountain range, he clearly saw 2 level 3 spirit treasures on the outside of the mountain range. How come it has become 1 now? Isn't this so funny? The spirit detecting eye has been strengthened by the system. It is now on him and has become a part of him. Naturally, it will not lie to him. But why, the third-level spiritual treasure that existed just now, disappeared inexplicably now? Is it possible that there are other treasure hunting teams outside the Monster Mountain range? Elder Sidhu, I have a question. Are you the only team from the Hunter Alliance near the Monster Mountain range? Xiao Xian squatted down, picked up a piece of land on the ground, frowned and asked, will there be other forces snatching the spiritual treasure? After hearing this, Sidu Shenlong was stunned. Listen and listen. Although Xiao Xian didn't explain it too clearly, the experienced Sidu Shenlong heard some questions. It seemed that there were still people competing for spiritual treasures with them in this area. This is definitely something Sidu Shenlong cannot tolerate. In any case, he is also an elder-level figure in the Hunter Alliance, and he also has some respect in the Monster Mountain range. Naturally, he would not just watch others fight for territory. Now, after hearing Xiao Xian's words, his face instantly became solemn. Master Xiao Xian, don't worry, in the area outside the Monster Mountain range, I still have some dignity when speaking. No one in the Hunter Alliance will grab territory. Is that another force? Xiao Xian's expression became serious, and he immediately changed his words. No, it's not another force, it could be a monster. It's still a powerful monster. What? A monster appears? Prepare to fight. Hurry up and get ready, otherwise you may be in trouble. Let me just say, there was a yin-yang tiger beast before, couldn't it be this thing? That would be dangerous. Although the center of Monster Mountain is dangerous. But generally powerful monsters also have territorial awareness and will not wander out of their own territory casually, so it is relatively safe outside the mountains. Very few monsters come out on their own initiative. Therefore, although Sidu Shenlong's lineage often walks through the Monster Mountains, the chances of encountering real monsters are few and far between. From a certain point of view, they are just picking up scraps from the outside of the mountains that the strong people don't want, and that's it. This. Hearing Xiao Xian's words, Sidu Shenlong's expression also became serious. No matter how fierce the fight was between him and Li Fu before, they were both elders in the Hunter Alliance after all. Look down and see you when you look up. Even if he loses, the most he will do is lose the face to compete for the rights of the Hunter Alliance in the future, that's all. But it's different when facing monsters. These monsters are all cruel, cunning, and powerful things. Moreover, because of the feud between monsters and humans, as long as the monsters see humans practicing, they will usually fight to the death, and both sides will suffer in the end. If he really had to face a monster, Sidhu Shenlong would have to take it seriously. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 567. How does young Master Xiao Xian know this is a monster? Sidhu Shenlong had to be cautious. Although he is an elder of the Hunter Alliance, he also understands that when facing monsters, those extremely ferocious monsters don't care whether they are elders or not. At that time, as long as we can fight against these monsters, no matter what status a cultivator is, they may fall, and strength is the only chance to ensure their survival. In this monster mountain range, besides other strengths, is there anything else that can threaten us? Xiao Xian did not answer Sidhu Shenglong's words. He still looked serious and looked down at the soil on the ground. He knows. The biggest difference between human cultivators and monster beasts is spiritual intelligence. Human cultivators are relatively careful and have logical analysis of dangerous situations, while monster beasts rely more on their natural instincts and sense of smell. This is the most basic way for human cultivators to deal with monsters. Indeed, there are many powerful monsters in this monster mountain range, but, recently, the one who poses a threat to us outside the mountain range is an injured yin-yang tiger beast. Sidhu Shenlong secretly nodded, agreeing with Xiao Xian's analysis. Actually, when we saw the ice bat monkey before, it was because we fought with the yin-yang tiger beast, so we both suffered losses. Is there still this matter? This is good news for us. Xiao Xian nodded secretly. In the world of monsters, the strength of 4th-level monsters is almost the same as that of humans in the Kangshen realm. Moreover, because the monsters are in the mountains all year round, their combat capabilities in the mountains are much stronger than ordinary people. For ordinary human cultivators, they generally would not actively provoke monsters of the same level in the mountains. It's a pity. It would be great if we could meet that ice bat monkey. Sidhu Shenlong shook his head. It's a pity that the ice bat monkeys are timid by nature. After fighting with us, they just went deep into the mountains. Hearing this, Xiao Xian stretched out his hand to interrupt him. Because he really felt a vague crisis. It was a foul smell, as if it suddenly appeared from the plains, and at the same time, a beast roar came from the distant jungle. It's really a yin-yang tiger beast. It's broken. This is a 4th-grade monster? What should we do? It's better to break away quickly. It is said that once a monster of this level appears, it will cause a lot of trouble. For a moment, the guards behind Sidhu Shenlong were anxious. This actually made Sidhu Shenlong's face a little embarrassed. What does this mean? He is a serious elder of the Hunter Alliance. Now, he is not doing anything. He has not even seen the face of the monster. Are his personal guards afraid? How will this make people think? Will Xiao Xian think that the Hunter Alliance is a bunch of losers? Shut up. Hunters below the spiritual realm should go back and inform all the elders of the Hunter Alliance that we are outside the mountains and need support. After all, Sidhu Shenlong has rich experience. He also understood that when cultivators below the realm of spiritual gods faced 4th-level monsters, they could never compete with courage and willpower. A single breath from a 4th-level monster could kill them instantly. In order to avoid unnecessary sacrifices, Sidhu Shenlong still asked his weaker cultivators to go back first, which was considered a guarantee. By now, if what I predict is good, the Hunter Alliance should have special means to deal with monsters, right? Elder Sidhu, please stop hiding your secrets. I saw that only the elite were left around. Xiao Xian also nodded secretly. The ant killed the elephant. Now that there are so many of them, if they join forces, if they have some secret methods, they might not be able to fight against an injured 4th-level monster. But in the final analysis, it still depends on whether Sidhu Shenlong is willing to contribute. Haha. Master Xiao Xian really praises me so much. However, our Hunter Alliance's existence in this place is definitely not in vain. Sidhu Shenglong smiled slightly and said, "We have a hunting formation." Hearing this, Xiao Xian became interested. Of course, this beast hunting formation may not be as good as young Master Xiao Xian's formation, but if there are enough people, it might not be impossible to hunt down the yin-yang tiger beast. Sidhu Shenglong looked confident. Okay, then it depends on Elder Sidhu's methods. Xiao Xian also nodded. Speaking of which, he had already used the Black Hell Demon killing formation when he was dealing with the dragon lizard herd. If there is no remnant of the beast in a short period of time, he cannot exploit it without limit. Therefore, if there is Sidhu Shenglong's help, Xiao Xian is naturally willing to accept it. "Come here, prepare the beast hunting formation," Sidhu Shenglong roared with a serious face. A golden light flashed in his hand, and he actually pulled out a golden sword. Yes. 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 Sidhu Shenglong is the elder of the Hunter Alliance after all. His appeal was naturally impressive. After he roared, the guards around him lined up one after another and began to form a large formation with him as the core. Xiao Xian saw that some guards were holding long swords, some were holding bells, some were holding shields, and some were drawing pictures on the ground. Very busy. But at the same time, after their arrangement, swords and swords appeared in the formation. If a Kengshen realm master who didn't know why entered, he would probably suffer a big loss. This formation is really impressive, Xiao Xian couldn't help but sigh. Of course, this was created by the beast god back then. It is said that a second-grade monster was caught back then. However, our descendants are not strong enough and can only rest on the fur of it. Sidhu Shenglong's face was filled with pride and shame. The Hunter Alliance was once a powerful force, but after the disappearance of the once powerful beast god, the situation of their alliance became worse and worse. Even some small empires can be rude to them. Bring up these histories. Sidhu Shenglong's face was naturally dull. Then it depends on Sidhu Shenglong's ability, Xiao Xian said directly. I can hide and relax. What a beautiful thought. Later, we need to instill pure Tao power into it at the same time, so that the power of the formation can be fully displayed. Sidhu Shenglong's face darkened and he glared at Xiao Xian fiercely. He couldn't tell. Xiao Xian clearly wanted to be the hands-off shopkeeper. After all, it was agreed before that even if the third-level spiritual treasure was found, it would be given to Sidhu Shenglong and the others. Since Xiao Xian can't get any benefits, he is naturally unwilling to participate in these things. But naturally Sidhu Shenglong would not agree. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 568. Ahem. Elder Sidhu, I just said at that time that helping you find the third-level spiritual treasure would complete the task. Now you want me to fight a fourth-level monster? Isn't it a bit too much? Xiao Xian looked sad and aggrieved. That look made Sidhu Shenglong hate him so much. He had seen with his own eyes before that Xiao Xian killed a group of dragon lizards with his own strength. That courage, that grace. But you can be as handsome as you want, even when swallowing the demon pill, his movements are done in one go. Now, are you afraid of facing a fourth-grade monster? Sidhu Shenglong was 100% sure that this was almost impossible. Ahem. Master Xiao Xian, I wonder if you are interested in the beast god. Sidhu Shenglong is also a smart man. Sometimes, it is impossible to let the horse run without letting the horse stop eating grass. At the moment, although Xiao Xian still looked unwilling to work, he understood that Xiao Xian was not really afraid. On the contrary, it was just because this matter did not help him and he did not benefit from it. I really want to talk about it. Young talents like Xiao Xian. If there was an opportunity to go further, how could he abandon it like a worn-out shoe? In fact, no need for Sidhu Shenglong to say more, Xiao Xian felt itchy in his heart when he heard the words beast god. He had heard Qing Li say it before. The Hunter Alliance is not a loose organization that has appeared temporarily. On the contrary, it is a large organization with a long history. Since it has a long history, there must be something outstanding about it. Either there is a treasure to suppress the clan like Wanbao Pavilion, or there is some kind of inheritance of skills, or there is a big shot sitting in charge. From the current situation, this beast god may be the key. Moreover, judging from the formation arranged by Sidu Shenlong and the others, this formation is still decent. Perhaps they have really hunted down second-grade monsters in the past. Thinking of this, Xiao Xian couldn't help but feel warm in his heart. A second-grade monster. This is no ordinary thing. Not to mention the previous dumb dragon lizard beasts, even this yin-yang tiger beast is completely incomparable. According to legend, a drop of blood essence from a second-grade monster can make practitioners at the Blue God Realm or even the Golden God Realm fight for their heads. Interested in? Of course I'm interested, but I just don't know what level of strength Master Beast God has reached. Xiao Xian asked in a roundabout way. Golden God Realm. Sidu Shenlong was proud of himself. It is said that the Beast God has reached the third level of the Golden God Realm, and his horizontal training is enough to shatter the void. Looking at that expression, it's as if this realm belongs to him. Even so, Xiao Xian was also secretly stunned. In the Golden Body Realm, he was an undoubted top figure on the Dao continent. If he can take action, this bullshit yin-yang tiger beast might not even be able to hold it with one of his fingers. If he could get even a little bit of his inheritance, even if he could just understand something casually, it would probably be of great help to his future cultivation path. Thinking of this, Xiao Xian couldn't help but lick his tongue. How is it? Are you interested, Master Xiao Xian? Sidu Shenlong asked knowingly. Certainly. But, I'm not from your Hunter Alliance either. Xiao Xian was a little worried. Isn't your beast god lord likely to ignore me? No, no. Master Beast God is a very kind person. He once said that anyone who has the talent to practice Taoism will have a chance to inherit his inheritance. Sidu Shenlong said with relief. After hearing this, Xiao Xian felt a little more favorable towards the beast god whom he had never met before. So, will Master Xiao Xian be willing to take action later? Sidu Shenlong struck while the iron was hot. All right, all right. Now that I have been invited by the elders of the Hunter Alliance, if I don't take action, wouldn't I be disrespectful? Xiao Xian also shook his head helplessly. Regarding this, Sidu Shenlong also glared at Xiao Xian hatefully and said no more. Although the two of them were arguing and arguing, their attention was always on the mountains and forests in the distance, paying close attention to the situation inside. They all understand. The strength of fourth-grade monsters is extraordinary. Even if it's just a fourth-level monster in hand, that furious blow is enough to kill them in an instant. No carelessness is allowed. You guys practice the art of wind and are fast. Go and do some reconnaissance. If possible, lure the yin-yang tiger beast over. Sidu Shenlong took out a red beast heart and said, this is the heart of a second-grade jungle spirit deer. It is the favorite food of the yin-yang tiger beast. You can use it to attract it. After hearing this, several personal guards nodded quickly. Of course they know it's a chore. But Sidu Shenlong had already spoken. Even if they were dissatisfied in their hearts, they didn't dare to show it on the surface, so they could only go ahead and do it. Xiao Xian, who was hiding aside, was secretly speechless. He could tell that these cultivators were at the beginning of the spiritual god realm, with just that little strength. Do you have the guts to take the initiative to find a fourth-grade monster? This, at the very least, will lead to a slap in the face, right? Sure enough, within 2 minutes, these figures came back again, but this time they flew back. Ah! What a cruel tiger beast, what a dirty trick! I haven't shown my flying wings yet, so I don't have martial ethics. The cultivator who was already on tenterhooks just now. At this time it flew back. The corners of their mouths were bleeding and their faces were like gold paper. They were all obviously seriously injured. Let's go and take a look. The corners of Sidhu Shenglong's mouth twitched. He could think that those few guys who practiced the art of wind were definitely no match for the fourth-grade monsters. But he watched helplessly as his men were dealt with so easily. There was also an embarrassed expression on his face. In order to maintain his image as an elder of the alliance, he could only step forward and confront the yin-yang tiger beast. Seeing the back of Sidhu Shenglong, Xiao Xian also secretly gave a thumbs up. Good. Ambitious. This is the style that the elders of the Hunter Alliance should have. In the face of difficulties and dangers, they remain calm despite the collapse of Mount Tai. Perhaps only such people can shoulder the great responsibility of revitalizing the Hunter Alliance. But the next second, a big hand grabbed his arm and grabbed him directly. Lying down? You old man, are you going a little too far? Xiao Xian didn't have time to complain, but he saw that in the distant mountain forest, several tall trees were broken at the waist, and then a three-story monster walked out. Those four hooves are like bridge pillars. There is also a red horn on the head. However, it seemed to be broken, with only a small half remaining on the head, and one of the four hooves was limping. It was obviously the injury that Sidhu Shenglong mentioned before. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 569. What the hell? Such a big monster. Elder Sidhu, do you want to play a role model? Xiao Xian was secretly shocked. Although I was mentally prepared before, I was still a little scared when I saw such a big thing. What? Is young Master Xiao Xian scared? Sidhu Shenglong said with a smirk. If so, you can retreat, but I will accept the demon pill on this yin-yang tiger beast. Humph, I, Xiao Xian, have lived for so long and I don't know what fear is. Xiao Xian sneered. Before seeing this yin-yang tiger beast, he was indeed a little unsure. But things are different now. Anyone with a discerning eye can see that this yin-yang tiger beast has been seriously injured, although it looks terrifying at the moment. But it was only the end of a strong effort. With those injuries, he might not be able to hold on any longer. Once it falls to the ground, cultivators like Sidhu Shenglong will naturally swarm up and carve up its body. If Xiao Xian quits now, wouldn't it be a dead end? Elder Sidhu is indeed a smart man. That's not what he said when he asked me to join the battle. Why did he suddenly change his mind now? Xiao Xian said with a smile. I think this yin-yang tiger beast is seriously injured and shouldn't live long. How about we take action together to destroy it? This is exactly what I want to say. Sidhu Shenglong also nodded one after another. It was as if he had known that Xiao Xian would say this. This time, it made Xiao Xian a little embarrassed. In fact, in his heart, he had long thought of taking the initiative. However, because among the people present, except for Qing Li and Gongsun Xiao Xiao, they are basically all Sidhu Shenglong's people. Therefore, even if he wants to take action, he still has to remind Sidhu Shenglong to give him some sympathy. This can be regarded as respecting the old senior. You can never go too far wrong. That's all. Everyone listens to the order and is ready to take action. Sidhu Shenglong did not hesitate at this moment, with a solemn expression on his face. From the golden guandao in his hand, a golden astral wind shot out of the air and went straight to attack the monster in the distance. At the same time, his personal guards also showed their strength. The colorful power of the avenue is displayed. The yin-yang tiger beast formed a siege momentum. Even though the yin-yang tiger has rough skin and thick flesh, its defense was a little stretched when faced with the siege of so many people. It was soon attacked by several powerful winds, causing it to scream in agony. Seeing that the situation was not good, the yin-yang tiger beast immediately planned to grease the solace of its feet, turn around and sneak away. At this time, a large golden energy net rose from the ground. Like substance, it directly wrapped the tiger beast inside. The golden energy network seemed to contain some corrosive power, melting the flesh and blood on its body. This time, it surprised Xiaoxian. Could this be the formation created by the beast god specifically to target monsters? You must know that the strength of the 4th level monsters is extraordinary, and their defense and attack power are even more astonishing. Even the ordinary Kangshen realm dare not confront them head-on. But now, these dozens of spiritual god realm cultivators have temporarily formed a large formation. Can it actually cause harm to the body of a 4th-grade monster? This is enough to prove how mysterious and domineering this energy network is. Xiaoxian can feel that if he accidentally enters, it will be even more dangerous. After the energy network appears, the yin-yang tiger beast also clearly felt the threat. There seemed to be some vigilance in its red eyes. It took a few steps back and let out a low growl in its throat. It's now. Get ready to take action and kill this guy. Sidu Shenglong knew that although the yin-yang tiger beast was injured, it was still a 4th level monster after all. If it got angry, it might cause some accidents. Now that we have the blessing of the energy network, we should fight quickly. To avoid long nights and many dreams. What's even scarier is. And Xiaoxian was also interested. But killing 1 or 2 spiritual god realm cultivators is not a problem. What a magical Taoist technique. Roar. This yin-yang stealth technique can actually hide one's body shape, even something as huge as a 4th-grade monster. Did he know that this thing not only looked ferocious, but if he didn't handle it well, he would belch when he slapped it out? No. He's going to run. It's natural. This should be the yin-yang tiger beast's unique skill, the yin-yang stealth technique. Deal with it carefully and quickly strengthen the energy giant network. Maybe the blow wasn't enough for it to escape. Want to get this yin-yang stealth technique? Well, this technique will be of some help to you now. Wanting to understand this, Xiaoxian was even more excited and couldn't help but said to the system, "Brother system, this is not a joke. You said you can find the demon pill for this monster, so you can find me the yin-yang stealth technique, don't lie to people." After colliding with the energy network, the originally bright energy network turned a bit dimmer. No one wants to get into trouble with this. In the middle of speaking, the system suddenly said, "But are you sure that the host really wants to kill this yin-yang tiger beast?" Ho ho ho. This system is suitable for all ages, and no one can bully anyone. Since I promised you, I will naturally do what I say. The system's voice was relatively easygoing. However, if you want to obtain this technique, you must personally kill this yin-yang tiger beast and obtain its demon elixir. He was surprised to find that the huge yin-yang tiger beast's figure began to become illusory. If the ferocious and tyrannical aura was not still there, he would have thought that this thing had escaped. A few dark breaths came out. After all, the yin-yang tiger beast is a 4th-level monster, and its perception of danger is extremely keen. Although it cannot understand human speech, the threat to it can be felt from the tone of Sidu Shenglong's words. So hiding him is not a piece of cake? Xiaoxian couldn't help but be curious, and naturally contacted the system. He wanted to ask if he could get this thing. This is a 4th-grade monster. But at this moment, after hearing the system prompts, Xiaoxian was a little moved. He knew that only by enduring hardship can one become a master. Now anyone with a discerning eye can see that this giant beast is furious now and may deliver a fatal blow at some point. Then, you must take risks that others have not experienced. Open your mouth wide. Xiaoxian was somewhat hesitant. At the same time, the shape of the originally tangible yin-yang tiger beast began to become illusory. Since you want to get others, there is no Taoism. Yin-yang stealth technique, is this thing so powerful? Looking at the yin-yang tiger beast struggling crazily in the energy network. Seeing this scene, Sidhu Shenlong looked solemn and continued to give orders. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 570. Speak out the system. Xiao Xian was expressionless, but he knew what was going on. In the process of cultivation, if you want to gain enough strength, you have to go through catastrophes that are difficult for ordinary people to experience. At present, although these fourth-level monsters are fierce. But if you want to obtain the yin-yang stealth technique, you will naturally have to pay some price. Oh well. Now that you've decided, be careful. No matter what, this yin-yang tiger beast can be regarded as an authentic fourth-grade monster, but fortunately, your pure yang sword technique can restrain him. The system prompted. After saying this, Xiao Xian couldn't help being stunned, a little surprised. He could roughly feel that the pure yang sword technique passed down to him by Gong Sun Hea was extremely powerful in terms of power and potential. But really speaking, it is such a strength. It is really difficult for ordinary people to understand. Even if Xiao Xian is extremely talented and spiritual, it is not an easy task to fully understand the Chun Yang sword art. In that case, don't blame me for being rude. Xiao Xian looked surprised. In fact, when facing this yin-yang tiger beast, even if the latter was injured, he was still a little frightened. Now that something like this has happened, he still feels somewhat confident. Because I never had time to practice. He has only learned 5 or 6 moves of the pure yang sword technique, although he has no problem facing practitioners below the middle level of the spiritual god realm. But now he is facing a more powerful opponent. His strength is not enough. Since there is a relationship of mutual restraint, it means that this power is still very useful. Xiao Xian showed a smile on his face and said to Sidhu Shenlong, Elder Sidhu, it is not good to drag it out now. I'm going to enter the big net and strangle this guy. What? Young Master Xiao Xian, please don't mess around, Sidhu Shenlong was stunned. Apart from this, does Elder Sidhu have any other means? Xiao Xian turned around and asked. This hunter energy giant net can weaken the power of the yin-yang tiger beast. After an hour and 3/4, the power of the yin-yang tiger beast will definitely be weakened. When the time comes, we will definitely be able to kill him together, Sidhu Shenlong added, this is also the safest way. But it's also the most uncertain way. Xiao Xian shook his head. He glanced at the tiger beast in the giant energy net and said, now, this guy has started to use the yin and yang stealth technique. If he succeeds in running it, who knows whether he will escape from it. In this case, wouldn't our efforts be wasted? Indeed, this is how we can protect our safety to the greatest extent. Sidhu Shenlong nodded. He had to admit that what Xiao Xian said did make sense. If this yin-yang tiger beast could really practice the yin-yang stealth technique to the extreme, it might really escape. But now, this yin-yang tiger beast is injured and furious. Even if he didn't dare to go in with such strength, who would take the initiative to go in? Isn't this just seeking death? Elder, please open a gap for me later. I will go in and kill this beast, Xiao Xian said calmly. What? Master Xiao Xian, this matter is not trivial, please don't talk nonsense. Sidhu Shenlong was shocked. Even the movements of his hands stopped for a moment, causing the energy net to shake. Fortunately, he reacted quickly and adjusted in time, and a golden power was reinstilled into the energy network. Only then did the big net become stable again. I'm not joking. Right now, the yin-yang tiger beast is concentrating on operating the yin-yang stealth technique, and it is seriously injured. If we don't seize the opportunity now, I'm afraid there will be no such opportunity in the future, Xiao Xian said. That's true, but Situ Shenglong was an experienced hunter. He naturally understood what Xiao Xian said just now, but even so, he did not dare to risk easily and enter the big net. Nothing to worry about. If you don't enter the tiger's den, you won't get the tiger's cubs. Seeing that Situ Shenglong wanted to say something, Xiao Xian directly interrupted, "This matter has been settled, elder, please stop talking, otherwise we will all regret it when this yin-yang tiger beast runs away." Speaking of which, even though Situ Shenglong wanted to say something, he could only say in a deep voice in the end, "Everyone, pay attention, open a gap for young master Xiao Xian and let him go in and kill the yin-yang tiger beast." He gave this order. As expected, there were cracks in the originally complete network. Xiao Xian did not dare to neglect, and rushed in with a flash of his body. After entering, Xiao Xian really discovered some clues. He noticed that there was something unusual in this big net. It was shrouded in a huge energy light net that could isolate sound and light. It's as if this is an independent and isolated space. What's the situation? Where are the fourth-grade monsters? Xiao Xian was stunned. After entering the big net, the imagined thunderstorm attack did not come, but instead there was a calm before the storm. Interesting, is this guy playing hide and seek with me? Xiao Xian sneered, displayed his soul power, and began to carefully search the space. Roar! Just when Xiao Xian was searching, a dark force suddenly erupted around him. Fortunately, his soul was powerful and he noticed the force in advance and dodged it in a flash. In an instant, the ground where he had just been standing exploded. Mud flew everywhere and boulders exploded. With this power, if Xiao Xian were even half a minute slower, he would probably be blown to pieces. Brute! Let's see where you hide now. As soon as the yin-yang tiger beast made a move, its huge figure was revealed, and its red eyes stared at Xiao Xian, full of anger. In its opinion, human cultivators such as Xiao Xian and Situ Shenglong are like ants. If it hadn't been injured, these things would have swarmed up and he could have easily dealt with it, but now it was trapped by a broken net. Even if it has power, it cannot be exerted. Unexpectedly, there are still ants who dare to walk in? Isn't this just seeking death? Ho ho ho! Roar! The yin-yang tiger beast missed in one blow. In anger, the two claws were like giant sticks, hitting Xiao Xian's head directly. Under such power, most people would be frightened even if they took a glance at it, let alone seeing it. But Xiao Xian is not a vegetarian. With the blessing of the power of the soul, he can predict the attack of the yin-yang tiger beast in advance. Therefore, Xiao Xian had already reacted before it took action.